Let me start off. GM, my name's Mike, otherwise known as CarTarL. I am Community Manager for CyberBrokers. There are two other mods here, Merc, if you'd like to say hello, and Ballistic Banana, if you'd like to say hello.
Good evening.
Today we have a CyberBroker Community Town Hall. This is a follow-up to the AMA, so Josie laid out the vision and roadmap for CyberBrokers, and I wanted to follow that up with the community side of things. So where do we go and where do we get information, basically? So I have a bunch of areas I want to touch on briefly on the left, and then I have engagement on the right, which is I think the bulk of what I want to talk about today. I've got a presentation I'm going to run through, take me 10-15 minutes tops, and then I wanted to have open discussion on each of these areas, go through them one by one. And if there's any time left, any lingering questions from the AMA or roadmap that I'm able to answer. I may not be qualified and I may not be able to answer, but I'm certainly happy to take questions. So first section is communications. So I kind of wanted to show what we're doing today and what we're looking to for the future regarding communication. So today it's primarily newsletter and Substack, and then we have some spots here in Discord. You'll see that we recently split up announcements in Discord. That was based upon holder feedback. So there's now an announce channel that will primarily be used for major announcements, so you won't get pinged that often with that channel anymore. And then there'll be a specific community one, and then when quests are going on, the initial quest announcement and the ending quest announcement will show up at announce, but all other quest related stuff will be there in the quests channel. And then of course upcoming events. If you all haven't seen yet, every usually Sunday night or Monday morning, we load up the events for the week, and you can look and see where they are, what dates and what specific events, and you can click interested. That will help you. It'll show a reminder for you so you don't miss it. In the future, we've talked a lot about the new website. The new website is going to have a community section all to its own, and we'll be able to put all sorts of great information up there, and it'll be a single point of reference. The other thing I'd like to do is more video YouTube content. So, quickly, what happened in the last week? A simple 5-minute video, bing, 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 so people can catch up quicker, because Discord isn't always the place to do that. So that's communications. Onboarding. We've heard a lot of feedback about this, and it's valid feedback. So again, today we're kind of relying on Substack, newsletter, and Discord. If you haven't seen yet, on the existing website /resources is a great single place to go to find all things CyberBrokers today. It's split up in sections. This is the resources page. So /resources, you can see it down on the bottom here, so you can find it from any page. It has everything nicely grouped, so if you want to find something specific, it's a great place to go. So the idea with onboarding is to not only expand that, but again, with the community portion of the website, and then websites are good when they're stylized, but we want to add more like a user guide, so like a Git book or a Notion that will be easier for finding stuff more in detail, step-by-step instructions, things like that. So that'll have a getting started guide and then walkthroughs on key topics. And again, YouTube, so what's going on with MEX? Quick YouTube video. What can you do with your CyberBroker? Quick YouTube video. Security. I think security is on all of our minds these days as we watch people come in weekly and have their assets stolen. Today we're using Collabland to token gate the holders' channels, and we understand there's a number of holders that are uncomfortable doing that. We have the hot cold wallet form for quests so that you don't have to connect to quests with your cold wallet. And for claims, Cybe and Ben, innovation, the ability to claim from any hot wallet, pay the gas in your hot wallet, and the assets go to your cold wallet. So again, not touching your cold wallet. What we're looking at is expanding that concept, something more formal. We're calling wallet link, the ability to verify two wallets, hot and cold. Just verify them once, and then through the CyberBrokers universe, you can now connect with your hot wallet and get the utility of your cold wallet. You still need to connect with your cold wallet to perform actions, obviously, like buying, selling, revealing, crafting. But for anything else, you'll just have to have your hot wallet connection. This touches education a little bit. We want to explain more about how this works and general security tips for our holders to make sure that they understand things. And then again, on YouTube. Support, this is simple. We want to get away from just a generic support channel and move into a ticketing system so we can provide a little more customized experience to people. Community funded tools, I kind of bulk these together because one is funded by CyberBrokers for creators. And you've seen the translations that have come out of that. Lost Paradigms, which just had a Twitter space. If you don't follow them, make sure to go to Lost Paradigms on Twitter. Give them a follow. They've got a mint coming up next month. You'll want to be on that. There are advantages for being a CyberBroker. PixieBolt AI. If you haven't played with PixieBolt yet, I recommend right after this, go to the PixieBolt AI section and give it a try. It's a lot of fun. You'll be addicted. There's a couple of other things that are in the pipeline that I can't talk about yet. On the community tool side, there will be things that CyberBrokers provides ourselves, and then tools the community provides. And we want to continue supporting both. If you haven't seen Ballistic Banana's Muffled Stutter Bot, that's a tongue teaser. I got to make sure I say that slowly. Check out the commands channel. There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can find out about CyberBrokers right inside of Discord right now. One key upgrade to that for Quest 6 will be the quest check command. So you're done with a quest, you think you've done everything, but do you really know? We've got the answer for that now. You type quest check, you type in your address, and it will tell you yes, no, we've logged participation for the quest. That will help out as well. Big shout out to all the community members, Diver Dump, Anna, Samalot, CBDB. Who am I missing here? There's more. I'm missing some. I apologize. For all the great tools they've been providing. Engagement. Sorry, I'm rushing because I want to really talk about this. I think this is the area that we're all looking for a little feedback, and there's some room for direction based upon that feedback. The first thing I want to talk about is Alpha Command. We've seen the success of Writer's Room and providing holders the ability to engage with us as things are occurring, and the ability to help change paths sometimes. So we're taking the concept that's been done with the Writer's Room and expanding it. And so Alpha Command is a place for holders that want to be more involved. It's going to have a variety of areas, so there'll be a Writer's Room. We're going to have a Visualizer's Room. Those are interested in AI. We're going to have a sandbox, for those people that are tech oriented and want to play with things. We'll have a mod area. You come up with an idea and we will find a place if you want to be involved. Okay. Events, NFT NYC was the first big cyber broker event. So there will continue to be those at specific conferences. We want to start more meetups, officially sponsored by CyberBrokers. The next one is NFT London, November 3rd. And we want to make sure those are global as well. So we're going to keep looking for new opportunities throughout the world for those. And then we also want to support ones we can't officially get to. It's like Art Basil's going on in Miami in December. We can't be there. We can't, get a meetup specifically sponsored by us, but we want to support holders getting together. And then obviously moving into the metaverse as well. Education. I'll announce we have an AI artist next Thursday who's going to be presenting here in CyberBrokers Discord. And this is an example, I think, of what we want to do with education. And I apologize, education is the wrong word. I haven't found a better one. Please give me a better word after I describe this. The idea here is we all know bits and pieces, and we want to grab people that have experience and are doing really cool things, and we want them to come and tell us what they're doing. We want to learn from them. So that first AI artist is going to be the starting of a series of AI artists that come in. But we want to expand that, to traditional art, people that are in the NFT space as artists, technology, you name it. We want to start getting those people in here. I think maybe the master class is the term I've heard used for that before. We want more interaction. Quests have clearly shown that people like interacting. Maybe not in that exact format. So quests are going to obviously continue to be, a major component of CyberBrokers. At the same time, there's opportunity for just simpler, fun things, throughout the week. So I'm calling those community games. We started off with Among Us. We have a weekly Among Us game that we play on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central. But I want to see us expand that into other things and maybe even some CyberBrokers themed games. Simple, fun. And then we're also going to pick back up spaces. I think after the AMA and with MEX and all the details around that, it's a great opportunity for people to just hop in a space and chat about what's going on. Holder support. So basically, how do we help those people that want to do things? We've got the community fund. That's certainly one way. At the same time, we need to kind of describe what are CyberBrokers technically. How can they be used? Where's the toolkit to grab them and do something? And frankly, for community games, maybe some holders want to make their own quests. Who knows? The last part I really want feedback on moving forward is holder recognition. And I'm using a very specific word here, recognition. We want to make sure to highlight those people that are not only holders, but are contributing. And Alpha commands a place for them, but recognition is something that would go across the community for various reasons. I have some ideas. We started playing with some in Discord earlier about, what are the names and icons for people that hold certain levels of number of brokers. Is there the, Hollow Club? Is there the, Genesis Mass Club? Things like that. Any questions or suggestions regarding security? Well, I want to get some specific feedback here. So you've all interacted with Collabland at some point. if you have more than one wallet, you've probably interacted with the hot cold wallet. If you've claimed, you've probably encountered the idea that you can connect with a hot wallet and send to your cold wallet. What does everyone think about the concept of kind of pushing the fact that every broker holder has two wallets, one where they store stuff and one where they connect? Is there anyone that has issues with us like pushing towards that concept?
Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
Hey, Kinetics. I don't think there's an issue with doing that, but I think not everybody has a hot and a cold. So I think if you're going to do that, I think you need to be prepared that some people might not. And also, what about, I know some of the newer things are like, validating, through a code, through like OpenSea or something like that. Has there been any thought around doing stuff like that?
Yes. Actually, we have OpenSea verification in beta right now. The issue is there's no API for it, and they block with Cloudflare, so it's very difficult to accomplish. Vulkan has done this, and they clearly have spent the money to make this happen as a service. It's not something I'm sure we CyberBrokers can spend the same amount of money for to get results, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if you want, if not, it's completely fine. But I'm a mod in Asprey Studio Club. We had a guy that created it for us, and I don't think he did it for that much. If you want, I can link you up. If you guys are comfortable with where you're at, that's fine too.
No, yeah, I'd love that link, please. I'm writing that down.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll link you up with him.
Okay. Back to your point, I think pushing is the preferred word, not requiring. Pushing. And I think it's, we really don't want to see our holders losing stuff. And the only way we see right now to help with that is for them to not touch their cold wallets. So we don't want them connecting to our stuff with cold wallets, and we hope, frankly, everyone else starts doing the same thing. Until there's a longer term solution. Let me caveat that. Does that make sense, Kinetics?
Yeah, and I think just a lot of this is just, to your point, I think you call it education or personal growth or whatever you want to call it. But those of us that have been in a while, we've seen it. We've experienced it. We know people that have done it. It's it's these newer generation of people coming in that really need that help. So yeah, to your point, I think providing that education that, hey guys, this is really what you need to do, and this is why. But again, at the end of the day, right? It's the onus is on all of us.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I can have a cold wallet and I could be interacting with all kinds of stuff. You're gonna lose everything you got. So
yes.
Yeah, it's an extra layer. But if you're not doing it right.
Yeah, and I think this also ties into onboarding as well. So it's like, how do we have that set of recommendations for those who are new, and we recommend doing this. But to your point, for those who don't want to do it, that's their choice too.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And then just a little off task with that, with the, I don't know if you were still going to touch on it, but with like the AI and stuff like that. I know you got the guy coming next week. If there's anything we could do around like education or to try to grow that, because it's you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
It's like I've been trying to do some Google searches and YouTubes and stuff like that around the AI stuff. Like, what words should we be using, or should we be trying to find these other artists that have a similar style? And I guess part of it is I don't know the parameters of Pixie Bolt, so I'm not sure what would be useful to put in there and not.
Mm-hmm.
So would there be a way to put out, like, what are the guardrails of this thing or the parameters that we can work within, so that we can start maybe pushing what we're currently doing a little bit more, and what we're currently doing, knowing that, hey, this is within the parameters. It could give me a really cool result.
Yeah, I think the contests, the weekly contests that are going on, was an initial attempt to kind of start helping people have a task to work on. to your point, I think we need to start having sessions that go along with that. So, this week's theme is X. Let's have a couple opportunities during the day when there'll be people on hand in chat to say, okay, you're trying to do what? Oh, let's try this, let's try that. Because I found it's all very much experience based. You kind of gotta work at it, and it really depends what you start with. It's hard to provide a generic guide to it, if that makes sense.
Hey guys, could I just chime in real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name's James. I've been a holder for a while. But I'm a full-time AI engineer, so I spend every day just developing these algorithms and training. So I'm happy to provide any clarity. I wasn't involved. I'm not going to take any credit for the Pixie Bolt app because I wasn't involved in that at all. But I do know how these models work under the hood, and I'm happy to provide any tips or suggestions on how to get better results, and find links and references for everyone here. And also there are some really cool open source options that have been coming out recently, like Stable Diffusion, where we can really dig into the model and customize it for brokers in some really interesting ways. So I'm happy to come up with some ideas there and experiment with everyone.
Awesome, thank you. I think everyone would love that. And I think, in addition to that, where I'm going is we need to take those sessions that happen, we need to record them, we need to package them, we need to put them on YouTube. So it's not just about the live, but it's, how do the people that weren't there find the simple answers to things. So yeah, I love those ideas. Let me finish up here first, and then we'll come back to engagement. Any suggestions on community tools, either from us, CyberBrokers, or the community itself?
Hey, it's Kinetics again. I got some things on like funds and tools. Like, I can't speak for everybody. I know for myself, I'm fairly new at this. So again, like I don't know what I don't know. So, Josie or anybody else that has a lot more experience in this, could we put something out or some like, hey guys, these are some things that we would be interested in within, like Josie's interested in, like, hey, these are some areas where, we don't have the bandwidth right now to look into this, but we think this would be really beneficial to our, to our universe, and maybe provide some suggestions that people could look into, or maybe some things that we could start looking into on our own, just kind of help us define that path a little bit better. Because right now it's just so much. It's like, where do you even start? You kind of get paralysis because there's just so much.
Okay.
But maybe helping us to define that a little bit could help.
So say, so we have bounties, but those are very specific as an example. And, we have the community fund submission, which is very open. So maybe something in the middle to say, here's areas that we'd like to see things in. And then that would help people focus on what to submit for.
Right, or just giving people some ideas.
Okay.
Because I think, I don't know the complete inner workings, but let's say, for example, Josie and the team has a loose framework put up of kind of where they want the story to go, and just kind of something like that. And then maybe the writer's room comes in and they help build off that framework. Well, maybe there's some things that some of the community can start working on now that maybe support the story in maybe 6 months, to where maybe it can kind of be worked in tandem.
Yeah,
or
okay.
Maybe something like that, and just tossing out some ideas of what can, I guess the best way to say it is, what can we do in tandem with you to help complement the story and support it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you guys know a little bit more of those inner workings, and maybe we can help support some of those key things.
Yeah. So I think let me play back just so I understand. So let's pretend next season's characters are X, Y, and Z. Okay. the main lore will develop the story of those three. But during the season, we know we're going to interact with some non-primary characters. And maybe that could be something community oriented where those characters could be a little more developed by the community versus part of the main lore.
Right. Yeah. Community, locations.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything like you come up with a tribe of people or whatever it is. Yeah. Just one of those kind of offshoots that we can help build that out maybe a little bit more.
Or even expanding that. A specific part of the CyberBrokers universe that is solely community created.
Right. Because my thinking is, obviously you guys are allowing us to build this wiki. We can kind of build out things as we want, but it seems like to me it would be more beneficial if we're going to be putting our time and effort into something that would to a higher degree complement the main story and complement the universe more than maybe doing something that maybe is complementary, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Josie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna hop in for a quick second. That was really great feedback, and I also think that with our creative producers, which is helping with all of the narrative direction, we've been doing a ton of really deep world building in the background recently, and those parameters that we start to unravel to you guys and show you guys as the next parts of the narrative come out will also help a lot with this. We are going to be, introducing not just the parameters to certain locations, but also expanding the world with, these tribes and religions and physics and a lot of the really things that are possible in a metaverse that aren't necessarily possible in real life, right? So that will sort of set the scene for a lot of things, and there's also going to be a lot more interactivity and direction on what the community can do within the world. So I love where your head is at, and that's also where our head is at, and how the narrative direction in the back end has been building is towards giving you guys that clearer sense of what is there and what is able to be built off of.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, and I think that was exactly kind of where I was going with the holder support concept, but pulling it out specifically, the rails for content creation. In case you don't know, CyberBrokers has a community fund. It started with $170,000. You can submit creation ideas, and we will evaluate them and determine if we think they're in line with the CyberBrokers universe, and then we pay for them to get developed. Lost Paradigms was the first one. We have Mandarin translations that are almost running parallel with lore release now. Spanish is almost close to release of the first 10 chapters. And then Pixie Bowl AI itself was funded by the community fund. So if there's other ideas that you think of, let us know about that. Let's talk about Alpha Command first. So I think the writer's room showed up in the very beginning. A bunch of people hopped in there, and then it kind of stayed that set for a while, and it was kind of out of the way a little bit, because if you didn't know about it, there was no way of really entering it at the time. Brianna has open auditions for the writer's room, so if you're interested in being more involved with CyberBrokers and helping tailor the core lore, make sure to look on CyberBrokers Twitter. There's steps for how to apply for that there. In addition, we see all the holders here, and they're doing all these great things, and it's like, how do we get them grouped together, and talk, because there's a bunch of them that will, I want to do this, and I want to do that. And so Alpha Command is going to be that place where you can have a little space in Discord, your own little channel, kind of like Writer's Room, where you can talk about those things and it doesn't fall into all the rest of the conversation that's occurring in Discord. It's also a place where you'll get a more direct engagement with cyberbrokers based upon what you're doing. So again, a place where you can participate more. I look forward to talking about that. If you are a holder and you want to be more involved and you're not seeing a specific area for that, please contact me directly. I want to make sure everyone that's interested finds their spot. Well, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm repeating. Engagement. Any of these areas, suggestions, comments? Joke.
I got something.
Joke. Go ahead, Kinetics.
So, I just kind of jumped in again here recently into CyberBrokers, and I know, there was some merch coming out previously, kind of like a very Web3 type thing is like doing Twitter stuff, and like Bored Apes does a phenomenal job of it, like with the hoodies, right, and there's stuff like that. Are there any plans around getting us more merch that we can get? Because I love like a hoodie, or unfortunately the black hat sold out. I would have got one of those, but getting us more merch, and then there's things we can do as far as engagement and really just kind of having some fun on like socials with like posting our stuff, or just kind of doing some little more grassroots stuff like that on socials.
Josie, go ahead with the merch.
Oh, I was gonna say that we definitely have plans to do more of these sorts of things for both like digital sort of experiences, filters, and all of those sorts of fun things, and then also some stuff with physical. There's like this fine line where just branded merch is fun to like hold over. But we really want to do some special, fully customized assets and clothing that are directly from our world. So that stuff just takes a bit longer. But in the meantime, there will definitely be some sprinklings of like limited, branded merch. But do know that we are also headed towards doing some fun, really customized special things, like directly from our collection, rather than just branded like t-shirts and hats and hoodies, which are really fun. But yeah, there's a bit of both of those things going on. One just takes longer than the other.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
And I'll cover the other side of that question, which was kind of the socials. I think there's one specific idea that has been mentioned and talked about, and I really want to get out there, but it's kind of like a specific cyberbroker social game. Nothing more than do something once a day, and lots of smack talk involved, but using your broker. And then I see a whole bunch of other things like you're talking about, and we've seen ideas from holders like, let's do a fun engagement where everyone gets a chance to pick 10 brokers, and here's the tool, and kind of using Diver Dump's banner tool, who can create the most diverse set of 10 brokers. Post it to social media, let's see, and then kind of do that same thing with other communities. Let's put my 10 against your 10. Is that kind of the things you're talking about with socials, Kinetics?
Yeah, there's just tons of stuff, but yeah, stuff like that, just fun ways to just engage, with other holders in a more meaningful way. And,
yep.
I mean, we're global, so I mean, what's the easiest way is really through socials and stuff like that, because it connects us all together. So, so stuff like that is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about like an example of the next part's coming out and no one knows what it is, right? Maybe if we ran a social contest of, if you could guess it, you could, get a mech piece, things like that.
Yeah, I think things like that are good. Or also, I didn't. I remember. I'm sorry, my memory is like horrible. Like, didn't we do a quest like some time ago where we had to like take pictures and stuff like in real life?
The job board we had to create.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to.
Like stuff like that was fun. Like to me, like that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Like if we can start bridging that gap between like the Web3 and cyberbrokers and TPL and all that, but like pull it into our real life stuff. And I don't know how that works and the mechanics of it all, but like that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. So somehow maybe make a contest of something related to like TPL, but like draw it to something in real life, and you got to take a picture or something like that could be cool.
Yeah. Okay. Totally get it, and that's I think exactly what's going to start coming in the engagement category. Just a little explanation for myself. I started September 1st, I think was my first full-time day. I spent about 3 weeks absorbing everything that existed in the CyberBrokers universe. And then I spent the next couple of weeks kind of trying to get the rails on stuff like this. So you're going to see more attention to all of these things moving forward. And I think with the additional staff that's coming on, it finally gives us the time to start doing these things versus focusing just on mechs. I am going to close the community town hall session then for that part of the conversation. If you have individual ideas, feel free to pop them in Discord. Feel free to DM me. My DMs are open in CyberBrokers Discord. Always happy to listen and understand. It's 2:45. I'll if you want, I'll take 15 minutes of questions that came out of the AMA, maybe mech specific questions or things you didn't quite understand. If anyone has questions there, I'm happy to see if I can help with those. Quiet crowd.
I had one more general.
Sure.
And I don't even know if this is possible, but I was thinking about it the other day. Like, what's one of the most valuable things in this world, right? And it's time. It's time and experience. And I think I'm a huge fan of Josie's, her art, and I think what she's been through and has grown in this space has been unbelievable. And I don't even know if this is possible or if she has the time for this, but like maybe opening something up for holders where they can have a one-on-one with Josie for maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes and kind of, because maybe there's some other people that want to get into this space or get glean some things from her experience. I think that could be really cool as well, because I think one of the things I am so impressed about in this community with Josie is like she talks to the people. She gets in here, she's mixing it up, she's at the game nights. Like, so some of these projects, it gets so hard to have any type of meaningful conversation or relationship, with the creator of it. And I think she does an amazing job of that. So not sure if it's even possible to take it one step farther, but I thought that would be really cool. It's something that I would really enjoy as somebody trying to come into Web3 a little bit more to kind of, pick her brain a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. Kind of like a little mentoring program.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Next we'll be visiting. We'll be booking rooms.
That gets
What's going on? I'm a new guy. I just bought in yesterday, and what a cool thing to buy in at 0.9, and the very next day it gets swept up to 1.2. So crazy. I'm brand new. I would love some advice of how I should attack all this. I've been reading. I've already watched all of Josie's videos on YouTube. I haven't done the lore yet. Are the older quests something that I can do and still claim, or is it going to be this next one that's coming up that I'll be focusing on the most, but just go back and read all the rest? How should I attack that?
I think simple. The quests you can't go back. So all the people that held your broker at that point claimed for those quests.
Do you have their addresses and their phone numbers?
you'd have to go through Etherscan to figure out, who owned it
Hunt
when.
them down. Say, hey, I want my stuff back. Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that. So I think the simple steps, first is participate in the next quest. So there's always during each quest a set of actions, simple usually, that you need to do to claim participation. Claiming participation changes the level of claim you get. We all get the same number of items, but the level changes based upon participation or not. So pay attention to that.
That's good to know.
That's
Okay.
coming
That
up.
makes sense.
That's coming up soon before the end of October. Josie, can I alpha leak?
Oh, go for it. Oh.
Okay. Next week.
Thank you, Josie. That's awesome.
Next week, starting midweek, is the quest. Okay. So what you do during a quest period, there'll be a newsletter announcement that tells you what it's about. There's usually some puzzle stuff. I have a feeling this one will be again a little different, meaning this will allow people to progress at their own pace versus full on community part. But sometime during that, it'll tell you what you need to do. You do it, boom, and then after the quest, you claim your parts. As a new holder, you probably want to go look at the mech market and make sure you have one of each part. So arm, leg, head, and then you need 2 arms specifically. Okay, but one of everything else.
All right, cool. I'm in 50 plus projects, so I'm super excited. This is a project I wanted to be in from day one and saw it slip away. I've always watched, and just recently I was like, I think I said to myself, if it ever gets below 1 ETH, I'm going in. So I'm super excited. I've been in the space about. It was my year. It was my year gift to myself too. So super. And as soon as I saw the one, I was like, I gotta have this one. I was shocked because the one I picked up, I think it's got like 13 ETH in volume, so it's been a popular one traded. But Josie, it's so cool you're here. I'm super excited to be part of your project. What can I do for you, the project? What's the best thing I can do for you guys? Is it just every day being engaged, Twitter? What can I do for you guys?
I think the first thing is make sure you're up to the speed and level of what you want to be. So if you want to catch up with the lore. But after that, I think it's engaging in Twitter and Discord. Chat, ask questions, tell us what you think, and then chat it up on Twitter.
In the community in general, first of all, thank you for being a part of our community, and you picked up an awesome broker. But yeah, I mean, just obviously you'll see looking through the chats that we have a really positive, uplifting, honest, sort of like authentic community that I'm really, really just like proud to be a part of, and like super happy that we've laid that foundation for everyone, and everyone is on board with it. So yeah, like Carl said, or Mike, sorry, I called both now. Engaging as
you're consistent with that, at least. I've seen that in videos already.
Yeah, engaging in your comfort level, and just like being a broker and coming along for the ride. So
are you guys aware of the Deca Art project?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we don't have a square over there. Do you guys? I'm very active in that. Okay, I was gonna say let's get a square over there. It'll fit right in. And I think every project should take advantage of projects like Deca because it's about synergy, and it's like free advertising. You can do Twitter posts and go to all these things, but you go make a gallery and it's free advertising. It's a billboard that's up 24/7, especially the way they've got their quests are you got to go look at other people's galleries. So they're literally using that you end up stumbling across other galleries. So it'd be a great competition too. When someone makes a square, let's have a competition who's got the coolest square. There's just other ways to get the word out.
Yep, all that's coming. We've talked to Deca, and Deca, their team is awesome. They're doing really cool things, and we're big fans. And actually, I got introduced to DECA through Rat Architect, who's just been creating and doing insane contests, and I'm sure winning all of them on there. So a huge thank you to him and seeing all the amazing stuff he's doing over there. But yes, for sure, we are in contact and going to be doing some stuff with them as well.
Cool.
Welcome. It's great to hear a voice associated with the communications that's been going back and forth in Discord, and welcome to the community.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Got about 5 minutes left. I can probably take one or two more questions. You know what? Maybe I'll tell a story. This will probably go down in a moment in CyberBrokers history. Many of you saw the sweep that occurred this morning, and it has a funny story behind it. So back in May, a holder swept a whole bunch of brokers, and we were all like, wow, you know, what happened there? And then we looked and we found out that Pranksy had put a whole bunch of brokers on LooksRare, you know, near floor price, basically to farm Looks coin. And he never expected anyone to buy them, but this person did, and went and, you know, swept all of the brokers that Pranksy put on LooksRare. That same holder was the one that just swept this morning as well. Little moment in CyberBrokers history.
That's
And I
super
think
cool.
that-
I was asking my buddy that just this morning. I was like, who it was?
Yeah, Coco Rare's been OG for a while, but also I think
Andy shit talked Pranksy on Twitter about it.
Yeah.
He
No,
went on
that's-
Twitter and he was like, "Why'd I buy all your cyber brokers? Because I could."
Yeah, no, I love that. They had a little banter back and forth, and I'm pretty sure he had to buy the whole lot of like 100 to buy it, and that's what he did, which is why it would be so unexpected that anyone would do that. I'm pretty sure. I think Pranksy's still the number one holder though. Am I right, Mike?
Yep, by like three or four now.
Who do I stay away from here since I'm brand new?
You got to be more.
Only if you're playing Among Us, then stay away from CarTarL for sure.
That's good intel. Thank you, Joe.
I get thrown under the bus. I worry about Vo. Thank you all. It is 3:00. I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate everyone's feedback. Again, if you have specific ideas, you know, feed them my way. At the same time, there's a lot going on with regard to all of this, and you'll start seeing parts of this coming out over the next month or so. Cheers, everyone, and thank you, and look forward to continuing the conversation in Discord. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Carl.
Bye. Bye.